Right now, your body might be breaking itself down just to keep someone else smiling. Have you ever found yourself nodding along to a plan you secretly hate, saying yes to everyone except yourself? You think you are being kind, but deep down, there is a quiet, heavy exhaustion, a feeling that if you stop giving, you lose your value. We call this being nice. Applied psychology calls it a silent survival mechanism, a constant state of emotional self-defense. It is the scary truth of the people pleaser through the lens of neuroscience. We realize it is not a personality trait, it is a wound. Our brains are wired for connection. For ancient humans, rejection meant literal death and isolation meant starvation. So the brain developed an extreme sensitivity to social harmony. In 2003, Dr. Naomi Eisenberger and her team at UCLA conducted a groundbreaking study on social rejection using fMRI scans. They discovered something profound. When a person experiences social exclusion or the fear of disappointing others, their brain lights up in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. This is the exact same region that processes physical pain. To your brain, the threat of someone being upset feels identical to a physical blow. Your body reacts as if it is being physically attacked. So you please them, anticipate their needs, and morph your personality into whatever they want to see, not because you love them, but because your nervous system is trying to survive the pain of rejection. This is known as the Fawn response, the fourth trauma response alongside fight, flight, and freeze. When you cannot fight or run away from danger, your brain chooses to appease it. You become a mirror, reflecting only what others desire, but what happens to the person beneath the mask? The truth is, you are slowly erasing your own existence. Living to please others means running a dangerous mental simulation. We're constantly calculating, what do they want to hear? What face should I make? So they stay happy. This constant scanning drains your brain's energy, leaving you hollow at the end of the day. But the scariest part of people-pleasing is the hidden resentment. Every time you accommodate someone else at your own expense, a seed of anger is planted. You think you are being generous, but your subconscious feels exploited, whispering, why do I have to sacrifice everything for them? Yet you cannot show that anger because it threatens the connection and might make them leave. So you swallow it down, put on another gentle smile, and bury it deep inside your body. But emotions are not vapor. They do not disappear into nothingness. In 1998, Dr. James Gross at Stanford University conducted a powerful study on emotional suppression. He showed participants emotionally intense films and asked one group to completely suppress their outward expressions to keep a perfectly calm, pleasant facade. The results were alarming. Those who suppressed their emotions did not feel less stressed. Inside, their bodies were in high alarm, heart rate spiked, blood pressure soared, and cognitive function dropped. The immense energy required to maintain that perfect facade leaves your mind foggy, with poorer emotional control later on, when you pretend everything is fine to keep the peace. Your body pays the ultimate price as chronic stress slowly erodes your immune system. This is what psychologists call the paradox of sociotropy. You try so hard to keep everyone close, but by hiding your true self, you actually prevent anyone from truly knowing you. They love the mask, not you, because you have never allowed them to see you. You are trapped in a beautiful, polite prison of your own design, where the walls are made of your unspoken desires and the bars are made of your silent agreements. How long can your body carry the weight of the words you never said? To understand how deeply this prison affects you, look at a concept called unmitigated communion. Coined by researchers at Carnegie Mellon University, including Dr. Vicky Helgeson, it describes an extreme focus on others and an absolute neglect of the self. In long-term studies, they found that people scoring high in unmitigated communion do not build stronger bonds. Instead, they experience severe identity erosion. Their sense of self becomes completely dependent on the emotional state of the person next to them. If someone else is sad or angry, they feel guilty and responsible, becoming an emotional sponge that absorbs the toxic waste of everyone around them without a filter to protect their soul. Think about your own life. How many times have you apologized for things not your fault? I'm sorry it's raining. I'm sorry for taking up space. Every sorry is a quiet confession that you believe your existence is an inconvenience to the world. This is an invisible form of self-erasure. You train people to love a ghost. The tragic irony is that the more you please them, the more invisible you become. When you never say no, your yes loses all value. It becomes cheap, expected, and demanded. They do not see your sacrifice because you make it look easy, teaching them that your feelings do not matter and that you will always tolerate disrespect. In psychology, this is called the boundary paradox. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you drop a piece of your true identity. By tearing down your walls to let people in, you end up pushing your true self out until one day you look in the mirror and realize you have become a stranger in your own mind. Why is the fear of setting a boundary so terrifying? Because your brain treats a boundary like an act of aggression, making you feel that saying no is the same as saying I hate you. But science tells us otherwise. A boundary is not a wall to keep people out, but a door defining where you end and the rest of the world begins. Without that door, you do not have a home. You just have an open field where anyone can trample the grass to rebuild those walls. We must change how we view our value. In 2011, researchers at UC Berkeley, led by Dr. Kristen Neff, published extensive research on the psychology of self-compassion. They discovered that people who practice self-compassion are not selfish. They possess far greater emotional resilience and form deeper, healthier connections because they give worth to themselves rather than looking for it in others. When you spend life pleasing everyone, Over. You act out of a hidden toxic belief. I am only valuable when I am useful like an object or a tool, but you are a human being with inherent value. It does not depend on your performance. Over. How many favors you do, or whether someone else is having a bad day. Think about the people you truly love. Do you love them only because they do things for you? No, you love them for who they are. Over. Their presence, their flaws, and their unique essence. So why deny yourself that same grace? Why must you constantly earn the right to exist? The next time you feel pressure to instantly say yes. Over. Pause for 3 seconds. Breathe and listen to your nervous system. Is it screaming in fear, begging you to protect it? Acknowledge that fear. It is just an old survival habit trying to keep you safe from an ancient danger that no longer exists. Over. You are no longer a helpless child trapped in an environment you cannot control. You are safe now and have the power to choose. Over. Saying no to someone else is the highest form of saying yes to your own soul, an act of radical self-respect and the first step toward reclaiming your life from the shadows, to break free. Over. We must dismantle a massive illusion our brain creates, one that keeps you on high alert, thinking everyone is constantly watching your every move and judging your choices in psychology. Over. This is known as the spotlight effect. A seminal study conducted in 2000 by Dr. Thomas Gilovich and his team at Cornell University perfectly demonstrated this phenomenon. Over. Participants wore an embarrassing t-shirt into a room full of strangers and estimated that 50% would notice. The actual result? Only 23% did. More than half didn't even register it. Over. For a chronic people pleaser, this means the intense pressure is largely generated inside your own mind, as your brain overestimates how much others focus on you. When you say no, over. You might spend hours agonizing, replaying the conversation and worrying they hate you. But in reality, they have likely moved on within 5 minutes, wrapped up in their own lives and insecurities. Over. You are burning vital life energy to solve a problem that doesn't even exist in their minds. When you realize this, a profound shift happens. The spotlight turns off. You are allowed to step into comfort and just be imperfect. Over. Without carrying the weight of the world's happiness on your shoulders. The truth is, you never could. You cannot cure someone else's loneliness by abandoning yourself, nor fix their anger by ripping your own heart out. Over. They must carry their own weight, just as you must carry yours. So let us begin a small experiment, a quiet rebellion of the soul. Start with small boundaries in low-stakes situations. Over. When someone asks where you want to eat, do not say anything is fine. Say what you actually crave. When someone asks for a favor that compromises your rest, say, I would love to help. Over. But I don't have the capacity today. Notice the discomfort that arises, sit with it, and watch as the world does not end. Watch as you survive. Where this journey brings us face to face with a profound human dilemma beautifully articulated by physician and author Dr. Gabor Maté. He states that as human beings, we have 2 core needs. Over. Attachment and authenticity. Attachment is our need for connection and belonging, while authenticity is our ability to feel true emotions and express our real selves when we are children. Over. If our authenticity threatens our attachment, if showing boundaries makes caregivers withdraw love, we choose attachment. We have to, because a child cannot survive without it, so. Over. We suppress our authenticity to keep the connection safe, learning to become whatever they need us to be. Tragically, we carry this childhood survival strategy into our adult lives. Over. Continuing to sacrifice our authenticity on the altar of attachment. We marry people we don't truly love, accept jobs that crush our souls, and stay silent when we should scream. Over. All because we are terrified of abandonment. But an attachment built on the suppression of your authenticity is not a real connection. It is an illusion. They do not love you. Over. They love the version of you that you are performing for them. That kind of love will never fill the void in your heart. It will only make you feel lonelier because you are hiding in plain sight. Over. To heal, you must realize you are no longer that helpless child. Your survival no longer depends on pleasing everyone around you. As an adult, you are capable of handling the temporary discomfort of someone being disappointed in you. Over. Through the lens of neuroplasticity, every time you choose authenticity over attachment, you carve a new neural pathway at first. Over. It will feel terrifying, your heart will race and palms will sweat as your old brain wiring fires its ancient alarm system. But if you can stay still, breathe through that panic. Over. And refuse to run back to people-pleasing habits, something incredible happens. The alarm eventually turns off and the brain realizes, oh, we said no and we didn't die. The old pathway weakens. Over. And the new pathway of self-respect grows stronger. You are rewriting the software of your mind, teaching your nervous system a new definition of safety, one that comes not from being liked by the world, but from being anchored in your own truth. True belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. In her extensive research at the University of Houston, Dr. Brené Brown discovered a profound truth. Trying to fit in by changing who you are actually destroys true belonging. Belonging requires us to be who we are. It requires vulnerability. When you drop the mask of the people pleaser, it feels dangerous, but it is actually the moment your real life begins. Yes, some people might leave when you start saying no, but look closely at who is leaving. It is only the people who benefited from your lack of boundaries and used your kindness as a doormat. Their departure is not a loss. It is a graduation, your life naturally cleansing itself of toxic weights. In that newly cleared space, you make room for real relationships where you can say no and still be loved, where you can be imperfect or angry and still be safe. You no longer have to perform to earn your place. You belong simply because you are you. Think about the immense energy you will save. No more constant calculating, suffocating your own voice, or carrying the heavy burden of everyone else's emotional weather. You can finally breathe. You have spent years keeping everyone else warm by setting yourself on fire. It is time to let your own fire warm your soul. You are allowed to take up space in this world and to have limits. Your worth is not measured by how much of yourself you can erase. You are enough right here, right now, just as you are. Have you ever lost a part of yourself just to keep someone happy? Which boundary are you going to set for yourself today? Let us know in the comments below so we can support each other on this journey. This is a place that offers suggestions to make life less suffocating and stands by the feelings you cannot share with anyone.